On a team with experienced keepers, Aggies head coach Bobby Shuttleworth going with the young freshman McKenna August for a third straight match to begin the year. August getting the start of the opener against Rice in her college debut. Got a win over the Owls and suffered a 2-1 setback in Waco against the Baylor Bears. 12 saves in her first two collegiate matches, 3 goals allowed. So August, again, brand new to the college game. And the other net for Texas State, it is the opposite for Caitlin Draper, the junior out of Hutto. Tonight, her 33rd career match played, 14 wins, more than 120 saves. Her third straight start in 2026 after injury plague 2025. Looking at the matchup tonight, Ben, the Aggies, the Bobcats, what does it come down to?
Well, for Texas A&M, you got to turn the possession into better chances. They have 24 shots through 2 games, but only 3 goals to show for it. They got to look for better chances tonight against this Bobcat defense. For Texas State, well, variety is always the spice of life. 6 goals, 8 assists through 2 matches. 5 different players have been directly involved in these scoring opportunities. A&M cannot focus on just one Bobcat alone. The threat has got to come from all over.
This is the 6th all-time meeting between the Aggies and the Bobcats. Texas A&M leads the all-time series, 4 wins, no losses, and a tie. That tie came just a year ago. Very competitive match out in College Station, a 1-1 deadlock between the Aggies and the Bobcats. Helen Alaminu scored the only goal. See her there on the left for Texas State. Meanwhile, Constance Ojemang, one of the goal scorers for the Bobcats in the win over the Vaqueros on Sunday. See her at center stage for Texas State. Also figures to be an offensive factor for the Bobcats.
And one of the unsung Bobcats, Matsuri Satsui, there in the center circle wearing the 14 jersey. Very creative, especially on set pieces. We'll see how she factors into this game as well.
Well, this was a very physical affair a year ago. Texas State called for 3 yellow cards and a red card. A&M called for a couple of yellows. Victoria Mesa got the red card, had to serve a 1-match suspension because of it. A&M in possession in the attacking third early on as the ball pinballs around, gathered in by Kat Campbell. Works it back to midfield as we are underway between Texas State and Texas A&M. Ball at the top of the 18, and here's a shot, and A&M lightning hits early for the Aggies. Trinity Buchanan, the senior out of Henderson, Nevada. Less than a minute in, it is 1-0 Aggies.
Well, that's not very quality marking up there in the defensive third for Texas State. Buchanan with a lot of room, getting it on the right foot. You see it here, right around the 18, creates the space, and a rocket of a shot there to the left of Draper. You know, Brent, you mentioned the goals being scored by Helen Alamenu. Last time out, Buchanan had the equalizer late in that game that took the win away from Texas State, had to leave in a draw, and just like that, she picks up where she left off against the Bobcats. A strike to get the Aggies on board.
40 seconds in for Trinity Buchanan. The Aggies have now scored 4 goals this year, 3 of them off the foot of Buchanan, second-year transfer out of UNLV. And before fans can settle in, it's 1-0 A&M on top. Pass up along the far side, a striker out in front as Draper scoops it up in front of the charging Ireland Churchill. An aggressive freshman who's already taken 6 shots in the first 2 matches for the Aggies. Freshman out of Eastvale, California. An area which the Aggies have transferred heavily. 9 players on this roster from the state of California.
One of the best from the high school level, a top 50 recruit. They expect a lot of things from Ireland Churchill out there in College Station.
Landry works it left to Hattie Patterson. Outside of the 18. Ruiz back to Patterson to the top. All knocked around. Ojemang trying to work through several Aggies. Alexis Montgomery falling down, fighting for possession. Matsui, tough pass. But that ball's going to wind up offside in Texas State's. We get a goal kick here. A&M on top, 1-0 on the 42nd goal, on the goal in the 40th second, I should say, from Trinity Buchanan. Correction, free kick for the Bobcats from Ajimang. Off the head of Mesa. Satsui for Texas State, but the keeper, August, knocks it away. Bobcats going to throw in on their attacking third.
Let's see if Texas State, they always like these set pieces out of the throw in the attacking third. You got to establish some type of possession. Right now, Texas A&M swarming defense, taking passes like that, turning them into possession and transition.
And here comes Texas A&M in transition again. This is Morgan Landry, freshman from Frisco. Goes cross field, looking for Churchill. Battling Sadie Guzman. Churchill fires and it goes left to the post.
Well, you like that type of shot from a freshman. You have the defender in your back pocket. You're just working the space. Then a quick turn and a shot off the left foot going across the face of keeper. It keeps somebody like Caitlin Draper on her toes, but also you got to be mindful of that streaking striker on that back post looking to poke something in. So good look there by the freshman Churchill.
They got a brand new A&M look this year with the first-year head coach and Bobby Shuttleworth. Team that also has a bevy of newcomers as well. They're trying to find their chemistry through the first couple of matches of the year. Often impressive start here. And a foul against Texas State as Morgan Landry goes down. And there is Bobby Shuttleworth. Last 4 years, an assistant in one of the great staffs in the country of Florida State, a program that in his 4 years won a couple of national titles. And a former player at the highest level, 14 years in the MLS with the Revolution. 4.5 gone by. Aggies on the attack once more. Well, knocked away. And now a shot coming. A&M 2-0. Or no, they're offside again. Wipes out a would-be goal for Landry. And the Bobcats catch a break.
Well, that's just a streaking striker in the attacking third, almost unchallenged all the way into the box. Again, it's been poor defending by the Bobcats early on, as Texas A&M in the attacking third having plenty of space, and then Landry a step or two offside, still rung the woodwork there to the right of Caitlin Draper. And you just see this threat early on as Texas A&M is applying the pressure.
A little more than 5 minutes gone by. Aggies have dominated possession so far. All across midfield. Here's Landry. Nice takeaway for Texas State. Pass up along to Cooker, one of the newcomers. A transfer for Texas State head coach Steve Hallman, now in his 5th season as Bobcats head coach, 32nd year overall. Cooker transfer from Stetson. And Coach Hallman knows SEC soccer very well.
Texas State last year, a couple of draws in their SEC opponents with Texas A&M and hosting Oklahoma as well.
Cooker. Cross coming towards the top of the 18. Haley Smith able to bring it back into Alexis Montgomery. Passing lane congested by Aggies. Alarminu. Now Satsui. But what a freshman campaign she had a year ago. One of the top freshman seasons in the history of Texas State's program.
And not just scoring, but setting the table, assists, the set pieces, creative footwork. We expect a good sophomore campaign from her. But right now you find that disconnect between the midfield of Texas State up front. Another missed possession and another transition opportunity. I believe Texas A&M is going to be awarded a free kick here just outside the circle on a dangerous challenge.
Foul against Texas State. Believe that's Alarminu. Look at this again. Alarminu coming in, and her backside going into the gut of the attacker.
And no play on the ball. Good call there by the referee, right in front of the eyes. And a dangerous situation here. Set piece opportunity. You can see everybody lining up there on the 18. Expect this one to come into the box here from Trinity Buchanan.
Goal she scored 40 seconds in, the 20th of her collegiate career. And here is the free kick. Backside of the 6, and it just goes right. Good set piece there for the Aggies as the Bobcats set up the goal kick. It was Finley Locker who got a foot on it for Texas A&M.
Wide open. I think they're going to look at that in film and wonder how did not end up in the back of the net. Completely unmarked there at the top of the 6, able to get the inside foot. Just couldn't redirect it with any type of power past Draper. But again, another situation where Texas A&M finding space inside the box and not a defender around.
Aggies in possession in the attacking third once more. Ball is lived to the side of the field. Outside of the 18, Guzman on defense. Aggies looking for a corner. Not going to get it here.
Better defending on the backside there for Texas State. Now, a lot of this stuff, of course, it's early in the season, Brant. We're just talking about marking up and finding your defensive assignment. Stuff that can be addressed easily with just some coaching and some tweaks.
Bobcats, tough turnover there off the foot of Montgomery. Cleared out by Nita Norshi. Second-year transfer from Florida State, so does have some familiarity with Bobby Shuttleworth. Two were together in Tallahassee. Pass off to Landry. Knocked away by Jenny Gontcalm, second-year player from France.
Better job on that defensive pick for Texas State, playing the passing lanes, not allowing that free run. And now they got to do something with the transition here into the attacking third.
Here they go up along the far side. Alarmino. Pass deflected. Defended well by Emma Hong. Ball bounces outside the 6 for an Aggie goal kick.
I think it's one of those frustration shots, really. Your passes aren't connecting too much. You have a little bit of space in front of you. Why not let it rip? I know she would want to have put that on target. It just goes wide and not really a threat to the keeper.
Nearly 10 minutes in, A&M on top 1-0 on the Buchanan goal. Pass towards the top of the 18. And this is going the other way for a Texas State free kick.
Might have been on the hold on Gontcalm outside the 18, and another opportunity for Texas State. You saw a little bit of that transition. Of course, you had the option of going quick, try to catch Texas A&M in that transition. Instead, a little bit of a set piece playing from the back.
Left-footed kick from Gontcalm looking for Mesa. Hasn't had many touches so far in the first 10. All around midfield. And Draper out of the box. Again, starter for Texas State in each of the first 2 matches of the year. Did not play all of last season due to a shoulder injury. Brooklyn Escobar was Texas State's netminder for most of the year. As a freshman from Liberty Hill, now a sophomore. Did see some action in the win against UTRGV on Sunday.
Kaylee Smith coming up from the defensive third, wants to get this going into space, see if they could create here in the attacking third.
Here's Kaylee Smith, former SEC player in her own right from Mississippi State. Deep throwing here for the Bobcats. That's off of Patterson. Smith, a couple of years ago, was the Sun Belt's newcomer of the year. Throw into Mesa, bracketed by 2 defenders. A third comes in to knock it away. Alarmino, physical play. She's called for another foul.
That might be a card.
Yeah, Alarmino's going to get a yellow.
Found herself in the book. Now remember, early on she had that kind of reckless challenge into the body of a Aggie defender, not playing the ball. This time trying to go through the back of the defender, and the referee is only going to let so much of that fly, especially early on in this game.
Texas State's season opener against UTSA in San Antonio. A lot of yellows were administered. Very physical match against a longtime rival. And we mentioned this match between the two a year ago in College Station. A lot of yellows flying all over for both teams. Smith trying to take it away from Churchill. The Aggies will throw in.
And maybe that could serve as a bit of a catalyst if you're a Bobcat fan to get some energy into Bobcat Soccer Complex and get the juices going, so to speak. Not very often that you have a visiting team come in to this soccer complex and dictate the pace from early on, but that's exactly been the case in the first 10 minutes.
Look at this last play. Cooker took a cleat to the face there from Patterson. Foul going the other way. Good crowd on hand on this Wednesday night, despite the scorching temperatures, right around 100 at the start. Texas State looking for his first ever win over the Aggies as Montgomery goes down. Satsui leaves it for Alarminu. Back to Guzman to the back line. Online pass, not handled well by Ajimang. Now Norshi. And more physicality here tonight between the Aggies and Bobcats.
And a chance for a set piece of their own. You try to put yourself between player and ball and work for it, and then you get the stab right there on the ankle. Referee in a good position to make the call. Jenny Gonkim to send this in from right outside the mid-circle.
Gonkim deep into the 18. Off the ricochet, cleared out by Landry. Here's Churchill. Guzman able to step into the way of Diaz. 13 and a half minutes gone by in the first. 1-0 Texas A&M.
And the free kick won here. Constance Ajimang finding herself in position. Feet tangled up with Finley Locker. It's the favorable call from the linesman on the far side.
One of those California products. Again, 9 Californians on the Aggie roster, 4 internationals, everybody else mostly from Texas. Texas State's roster littered with Lone Star State products, but also a lot of internationals. 2 from Japan, players from France, 3 from Ghana, 2 from Spain. Been a melting pot of a roster for Steve Holman ever since he took over 5 years ago. There, look at some of the flags of the countries being represented, and all the way there on the left is the flag from El Salvador.
Seems like that's been a staple here at the Bobcat Soccer Complex.
It has. Home country of Victoria Mesa, who's played for the national team this summer. Whistle. With 14:45 to go. We're just catching up. Texas A&M scoring 40 seconds in. Courtesy of Trinity Buchanan. Another free kick from Gonkim. Again, Texas State has not maintained possession in the attacking third much at all tonight. No shots yet. McKenna August has not been challenged. It's been physical. 5 fouls against the Aggies, 2 against Texas State. Here's Churchill widening the field. Left of the 18, inside the box. Shot deflected by Kaylee Smith. And off the redirect, Landry leaves it left. A&M threatening once more.
That's just great defense there. You have a senior defending against a freshman, not diving in, taking away the space and the lanes. That handball in the box, an incidental one, as she's keeping her arms within her frame. And ultimately, that shot there at the end by Landry. The temptation there is to want to rip it. I thought she calmly put her foot into it just off target. And not a challenge to Draper.
So one of the players we highlighted, one to watch coming into the match, Bella Carapazza, the senior from Tarpon Springs, Florida, transfer into the program from Lipscomb. Did not start tonight for the Aggies, but just came in for Coach Shuttleworth.
Of course, early in the season, you want to see what some of your young players can do. You could think about McKenna August, the freshman amongst a couple of juniors, getting some run here early on to see what they have. And you look at Carapaza right there, and then of course Ireland Churchill, a freshman striker for the Aggies.
Carapaza playing at a mid-major last year. Lipscomb named third-team All-American on the Matt Herman Award watch list, as is Victoria Mesa, who's also named as one of the impact players in the Pac-12 coming into the year. Cooker looking for Mesa, and a misjudged that pass. Had to put the brakes on as the Bobcats going to throw in.
I mentioned the keys for Texas State being the variety of the attack. Right now, Texas A&M has two players in the back pocket of Victoria Mesa, and they're trying to go, the Bobcats, over the top, trying to find her. Those passes just aren't connecting. And it's leaving this Bobcat team looking for answers right now.
Cooker going cross field. Alarmidu. Guzman looking for Mesa. Off the backside, Cooker. There's the cross, backside of the 6, but nobody home.
Better connection of passes there from Texas State. I think it starts on the far side with that clear of the ball to the far side to Ajiman. A nice patient pass to Guzman as she lets Guzman take the overlay. A couple of crosses. That's a little bit more of the pace of play that Texas State is looking for. Looking for Mesa there at the end, and the back post just couldn't connect there. But that's about the first bit of offensive play that Texas State's shown to be somewhat of a threat to McKenna August in goal.
McKenna August, a freshman from Temecula, California, getting her third straight start between the pipes. Aggies, though, with some experience in net behind her, Sydney Fuller, 20 career starts, 5 shutouts. Adelaide Paredes, transfer from St. Bonaventure, 25 starts of her own, but the freshman August winning the starting job this year, as Montgomery on the receiving end of a foul from Churchill. And for the Aggies, already 6 fouls in the game.
We knew it was going to be physical, and Texas A&M came out first. They have the pace of play that they want. See the kind of chippiness there, and then all of a sudden on the receiving end is Montgomery as Churchill trying to go through her.
This Texas State program coming off a conference tournament title in their final year in the Sun Belt. Collision near midfield, another foul against Churchill. Won 10 matches a year ago, wound up playing Baylor in the NCAA tournament. Texas A&M, a rare losing campaign last year. As look back at the collision here. Montgomery going down. A&M only 5 wins last year. It is only the 3rd non-winning season in program history in more than 3 decades. And with that, a change in the guard now with Bobby Shuttleworth as head coach. Montgomery again goes down. A lot of grass in her jersey tonight. Well, after all of the contact and players on the turf, whistle finally blows.
I feel the frustration for the Bobcat fans, but a lot of this is just the referee saying play on here. There's nothing there. Alamenu does a great job of using her body, but Gonkin comes in a little bit too heavy on that shoulder, playing the body, not the ball. And Texas A&M is going to elect a slower restart here from the back.
Off the head of Gonkin. Aggies still in possession here in the attacking third. Hong. Oh, nice pass. Here's a shot. 2-0 Aggies. Leah Diaz. A tremendous pass from Hong. And the lead doubles for A&M. Are they going to wipe this off? Were they offside again?
It appears that might be the case. Maybe a half step there on Guzman on an otherwise great ball through the crease. And they'll take that one off the board officially.
A&M, that's not twice, they've been called for offside with the ball by the keeper. Keeps it 1-0. And we have a hydration break here in San Marcos. Again, it is hot today and physical out there with the Aggies on top 1-0 here in San Marcos. Back to the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Brian Freeman alongside Ben Campos. Glad to have you with us on the official Pac-12 Conference YouTube channel. They are looking at the offside call that wiped out an Aggie goal. And so the last play under review. Now this year, coaches have challenges, and this challenge being asked for by the Texas A&M. Let's take a look again.
I think just a half step there. Of course, at this angle, you don't know truly where Sadie Guzman was, but the call on the field was offsides. An otherwise beautiful pass through the lane and a great finish by Diaz. But from that angle, if the call on the field was offsides, I think that has to stand. Now, of course, Brant, we're coming off the World Cup. I think we all got greedy with that World Cup technology that they had, all the 3D modeling and lasers and whatnot. And certainly don't have that at this level, but I think a good camera shot there. A little help from that 18-yard line, the box line there at the top that provides some frame of reference there.
We're going to cut into your salary to pay for that technology moving forward.
It might be worth it for guys like that.
There's Bobcat head coach Steve Holman, 328 wins. And there, Jonas Hunt, one of his assistants in his second year at Texas State. Nathan Stockton, the other gentleman there in the maroon polo. Steve Holman in the black. 25th in the country among active coaches in career wins. Got that milestone 300th as Texas State head coach before his time at San Marcos. Head coach at Lamar out of the Southland, and also a lot of time in the SEC, Georgia, and Ole Miss.
Of course, it's early in the season, Brant, and we've enjoyed our conversations with Steve Holman over the years. He does like to play things a little close to the vest, and of course, this is a non-conference type of game. You're trying to learn a little bit about your squad early on. So it's hard to know outside of just we want to win the game what other metrics he's looking for that define success for Texas State in this outing. But, you know, maybe under different circumstances, the way that the Aggies have been playing Victoria Mesa, and they've been brilliant defending her, I might consider dropping her back more into the midfield, maybe moving Helen Alamenu back up to put a little bit more speed and offensive pressure out there. Obviously, Helen Alamenu has been wreaking havoc there physically. Bring some of that up top and see if Victoria Mesa can't control the game from the midfield, because early on, as well as Texas A&M has been playing, and let's give the Aggies credit, connecting passes, finding the lanes, taking opportunities when they present themselves. The real surprise to me has been Texas State's inability to connect from midfield up top. Their chances and their passes have not been crisp, and really, when you get down to it, McKenna August, the goalkeeper for Texas A&M, has had a very easy time so far in goal.
Well, they're still looking at the last play. Called offside against Texas A&M. Wiped out a would-be goal. So the clock is stopped at 20 minutes, 50 seconds. So a little less than 25 minutes to go here in the first. With A&M on top 1-0. Trinity Buchanan scoring 40 seconds in for the Aggies. Lightning quick start for the Aggies. Looking to pick up their second win in the Bobby Shuttleworth era.
Well, historically here at the Bobcats Soccer Complex, visiting teams have struggled getting any type of momentum, and that certainly hasn't been the case for Texas A&M. That first 10 minutes was an offensive onslaught. Texas State looked out of sorts there in the back. A lot of runs for Aggie strikers going unmarked. You've seen players settling the ball between the 18 and the 6, just no Bobcat around them. And they were able to put pressure on Caitlin Draper. Now that's kind of been settled down a little bit. So a lot of those adjustments may be tactical, mess around with the formation a little bit, but some of it is just being aware of where you are back there. Who do you have on your runs? Who's around you? Who's behind you? And just driving awareness around that. And those are the type of mistakes where, as you're a coach, yeah, that frustrates you, but the fix is pretty simple in communicating that.
So get a big crowd on hand tonight at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. It's been one of the great home environments. It's been a really good home environment, I should say, over the past several years since Coach Holman took over. His home record, 22-9-5, and they've been packing it in here. Capacity is listed around 900, but there was well more than that here this evening. Freshman move-in was recent. Of course, today the first day of classes as well, so a lot of students here in attendance. Boko Zari is here as well, back in the drums, Gold Smoke ready to go. There in the whites is Athletic Director Don Coryell looking on here as well.
Of course, on the hydration breaks and video review, got a little dance party coming out, so good vibes here at the start of the season at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. And the start of the fall semester in general here at Texas State.
Bobcats, after this game against A&M, will travel on the road to take on Baylor in a rematch of their NCAA tournament clash from a year ago, and then another homestand thereafter. 3 matches at home against East Texas A&M, Texas Southern, and Rice, a Rice Owls team that opened the season against the Aggies last week.
Common opponent between these two, the Baylor Bears, coming up for Texas State, as you mentioned. You want to talk about programs in the state of Texas for women's soccer. I think for the past couple of decades, it's been Texas A&M kind of leading the charge, and now over the past couple of years, Baylor's got some confidence from last year. They're a top 10 program here, probably the cream of the crop in the state of Texas, and definitely a measuring stick type of game for Texas A&M last time out. And of course, don't want to jump too far ahead if you're a Texas State fan, but you got that on the horizon. And one of the things about Texas State moving up through the Sun Belt now in the Pac-12, you don't have to look very far to get quality opponents. And what Steve Holman has done over the past couple of years here at Texas State, other programs start looking around as well and say, yeah, we'll come down to San Marcos for that. We'll do the home and home because you're going to give us a good test, and we're going to give you a good test, and we don't have to go so far to get that figured out.
As they continue to work out the replays, and actually, you know what, we're going to stay here. They are now finished with this review process. Call on the field was that A&M was offside. You saw the official kind of look over to the Aggie bench, pinching his fingers close to one another. Looks to be saying she was offside by that much.
Couple of chains if you're there looking at it on the football side of things. So no harm, no foul, and I think for Texas State, that's just a sigh of relief. You go back and talk things out defensively. Again, it was a kind of a free runner, a lot of space there. About 30 yards from goal and a wonderfully placed ball. And again, a poor example of connecting back to front.
Churchill will leave it back for Locker. Aggies working it very deep all the way back to the keeper, August. A lot of bodies around midfield. Free kick for Texas State.
The one thing I saw there is Texas State starts to get into their formation. You did see Helen Alamenu put pressure on the keeper, McKenna August there on the deep restart, and Victoria Mesa sliding back into that midfield position. So perhaps some adjustment there from Steve Holman.
Here's Godkin looking for Mesa. Victoria Mesa. What a set piece for Texas State, and Mesa knocks an equalizer to make it 1-1.
Absolutely gorgeous. That is difficult to do against air, let alone Texas A&M. The pass from Godkin near midfield finds the inside boot of Victoria Mesa. And if you're watching this at home, this is exactly how you do it. The backside run. You just need to redirect it, not overpower it. Look how calmly that was done to put it into the back of the net. And we're level here in San Marcos.
Victoria Mesa scored twice against the Vaqueros on Sunday. That's her 15th career goal, third of the year, 1-1 our score. Montgomery's ball was out of bounds. Aggies are going to throw it here. But Texas State coming into the season, talk with Coach Holman about the strengths of this year's team. They're more athletic than they've ever been. They're deep with the last year's team. But in terms of X's and O's, he has said that set pieces will define their season.
That's why early on, the first 15 minutes, it was very uncharacteristic of this Bobcat team. The passes not connecting up top, trying to find your runners. The ball's going really wide of the goal, nobody there. Very uncharacteristic, but that's the type of stuff that we would expect from Texas State down the stretch.
Yes, nice takeaway. Norshi with a great slide tackle. Now it's Patterson, Buchanan. Nice touch pass. We'll work it back to Cara Peraza. A lot of touches here up and down the Aggie players roster as the ball bounces twice off the chest of Caitlin Draper.
Though the big bugaboo remains for Texas State, can they take it from here and move it up? This is where the disconnect has really been from defense to midfield and midfield on up. They seem disjointed in a way. Here you have another pass go errant. Can they save it? And so far they can.
Here's Satsui. Alamenu looking for Ajamag. Ajamag, the top of the 18. Grounded shot from Cooker, smothered by August.
That could have been different. Not a lot of pace on the ball. Got a deflection from the defender. Maybe something like that you thought might have taken McKenna August by surprise. She had a good beat on it. Ultimately, that deflection took it to the near post and an easy save.
Sun setting here at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Texas State, Texas A&M deadlocked at 1. Trinity Buchanan, Victoria Mesa the scores. Here's Diaz for the Aggies, looking for Churchill. A lot of defenders back into the 18. Churchill the cross. Norshi right in the passing lane and the clear out.
And better communication by Texas State defensively now that Victoria Mesa drifting back into that defensive mid spot.
Oh, nice pass. Carapaza's shot easily handled by Draper.
I think that took Bella a little bit too far back than what she wanted. A little off balance, couldn't get enough on that, although she did have a step or two on the defender. Not enough to get past Draper on that header.
Satsu is so elusive. Great footwork, great in possession as Mesa has it along the near side. Mesa off the front, near the front post, and August in position there for A&M.
Kind of see the flags in the back. You get a little bit of wind here from right to left. That's always an awkward shot there. Something like that from Mesa hangs up into the wind. As a goalkeeper, you got to be sure about it. You don't know how much it's going to float in there. Of course, where are you in relation to your post? But McKenna August was sure of it. Kept the ball into play.
Aggies were pressing. Bobcats trying to work it the other way. There's Alarminu along the far side, defended by Hong. Touch for Ajamang. Couple of Ghana national teammates going back and forth there. Ball to the 18, cleared out by Texas A&M. Here's Guzman, last year's Sun Belt Tournament hero. Scored the winner against ULM in Foley, Alabama. Texas State's final Sun Belt match ever. Kaylee Smith, top of the 18. Ajamang and Texas State offside.
Now that's a good offensive sequence from Texas State. You saw them work the ball around. Great switch of the field coming here to the near side, and an otherwise good pass from Kaylee Smith back over to Ajimang there. You know she's worked hard so far. Hot and humid here at Texas State and San Marcos. Of course, you expect that playing here in the middle of August.
Bobcats have yet to make a sub. The Aggies only made the one to bring in Carapazza. Well past the halfway point of the first. Satsui looking to leave that for Alarminu, or for Ajamang. Well, it was Alarminu. Cooker in pursuit for Texas State. Patterson. Deep pass for Churchill. Norshi shields her, knocks her down.
And a free kick's going to be given now. I'm not so sure about this. You see the tugging there? Yeah, right there. On the thigh there, knocking Churchill off of there with no play on the ball. And how about this? Almost a half corner here. Very threatening position. And again, you look at the poise there by Ireland Churchill, the freshman, drawing this free kick. Very impressive.
As Ben said, it's practically a corner here for A&M. Set piece for the Aggies. Backside of the 6. Into traffic, cleared out by Texas State. Kept in play by Patterson. Diaz. And a Bobcat goes down. Alarminu, a foul against Texas A&M. They're 9th here this first half.
Physical challenge, of course. It's been going both ways there. The chest down, and Diaz just keeps that leg out. Breaking there, Helen Alarminu.
This time it's going the other way as Kaylee Smith knocked down Buchanan. A free kick for Texas A&M. Again, the Bobcats in year 1 in the Pac-12, their first ever Pac-12 match on the road, 1st of October in Logan against Utah State, first ever home match in the Pac-12. October the 4th against the Aztecs. San Diego State coming into San Marcos. Texas A&M, of course, and the SEC. Very competitive conference. There's SEC opener in Lexington against Kentucky on September 11th. Carapazza as Draper runs in to secure it. Works it up ahead. Alarminu finds her in stride. Got her feet tangled up there a bit. Diaz defensively in pursuit.
You can See Alameno just laboring on that run. She took that shot to the thigh, still trying to work that out a little bit. Not at top speed. Otherwise, Texas State had that transition opportunity. Maybe another one here.
This the final of a season-opening 3-match road swing for A&M. They'll be at home for the next 4 against Sam Houston, Air Force, TCU, and SFA. Their first SEC home match, September 24th against Alabama. Aggies picked to finish 12th out of the 16-team conference, finished 13th a year ago. Uncharted waters for this typically very strong program. So, as the first half winds inside of 15 minutes, some more subs coming in. Nyla Dupree into the match. Constance Zajabang will take a seat. Grace Dare in for Texas State. Nora Bell. Brenya Raun Knudsen, both in for Texas A&M. Knudsen, one of the 4 internationals for the Aggies. 2 from Canada, 1 from Iceland, and another from Finland. .32 gone by to 1-1 first half. Sydney Ritter in for Texas State, first-year transfer from West Virginia. Here's Mesa, projected to be one of the top players in the Pac-12 this year. Back for Dupree. And line have a much bigger role for the Bobcats. Great pass for Mesa. Just ricochets off of her, courtesy of Hattie Patterson, just preventing a corner.
But Patterson's been really good in the back line for Texas A&M. She's been responsible for Mesa when she makes that a run down the sideline. And, you know, this is the skill and poise from the senior in the back. Transfer from Ole Miss is Patterson. Just to stick with the ball, you know, you have that threat with Mesa, and there's a casual flick in her direction, get the deflection, and now you're able to maintain possession by way of goal kick.
.12 to go in the first. Ritter. Now Satsui. Taken away by Hong. Bobcats pressing. There's Churchill out in front. She and Norshi both in pursuit. And Texas State will get a goal kick out of this.
This is a little different than we've seen from Texas State, trying to put pressure on that back line of A&M, coming up with the press. Earlier in the ball game, Texas A&M able to start things out from the back, kick it around, and then make those long passes up to your streaking forwards and attacking mids. Now all of a sudden put a little pressure on them. Now, you know, maybe a little uncomfortable, can't make those passes the way you need, the way you want.
I don't know if the field is quite tilted in Texas State's favor the way it was in favor of the Aggies when it started, but it's been far more balanced since the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I think the Bobcats have done a better job of winning possession in the midfield. Still a lot of work left in terms of improvement in connecting midfield up front, but the midfield's done a better job of falling back into defense. Now all of a sudden Texas A&M is not having their ability to make opportunities in transition, connect passes. Again, we mentioned this in the first 10 minutes. You identify it, and well, the fix is simple. You just got to make your defenders a little bit more aware of what's going on around you. It's not necessarily a tactical thing. The referee says play on here.
And Ritter taken down from behind by Kat Campbell. Play resumes. Satsui twisted around, and there's the call against Texas A&M. Feet tangled with Knudsen.
And a set piece here. As Satsui again, she reminds me, I know this high praise, but messy in the way that the ball always seems just to be connected to the foot almost by a drawstring. And the way she moves around like that to put the defender in a weird position, you end up kind of grasping at straws, draws the foul there, and another dangerous set piece.
Godkin connected with Mesa last time we saw this. Looking for Mesa again, and the header clears the crossbar.
If I'm Coach Shuttleworth, I'm going to be livid on that one. How do you not let 4 have a defender in the back pocket at all times? Now, granted, Victoria Mesa very crafty at getting herself open, but that ball connected from midfield to the head of Victoria Mesa, and if you're Texas A&M, that absolutely cannot stand.
Mesa now 2 shots. One of them, of course, by August on that set piece from a Godkin free kick. Came about 22 minutes in. Maggie's got theirs less than a minute into the match, courtesy of Buchanan. Holly Storr to the game for Texas A&M. Loses possession to midfield. Annabelle Fisher for Texas State. Connecting pass for Ritter. And back come the Aggies back to the back line. Bobcats again pressing Eldair, the freshman, making life difficult on the Aggie back line. Knudsen for A&M along the far side. This will widen the field for the Aggies. Howell Condensing bringing it in into the 18 to the backside of the 6. Dupree, the defender for Texas State. And A&M with a throw in here.
Dangerous position for a throw. Dupree unable to get her hips around for that good clear. A quick turn, another foul drawn by Ireland Churchill.
Again, it sets up a de facto corner kick here for A&M.
Little short of the angle. Dupree doing some work there. Churchill goes down a little easy, but again, there's no linesman on this side. Referee in a bad position. You could get some calls here in this angle, and that's exactly what Churchill does. The second of this type. Only difference here is there is some consideration for offsides because you got about 8 yards there. We'll see what A&M does.
Churchill, line drive, going right after Draper. Interesting decision there from Churchill.
Well, you got so many opportunities to work there from that tight angle, that short of a distance. As a goalkeeper, you're always thinking about what's coming out backside, but you cannot give up that front post from that angle. And the freshman just thought she'd test her.
Here's Churchill against Mesa. Good one-on-one matchup there. A&M will reset. Under 7 to go. Knudsen going to leave that for Storr. Knudsen against Norshey. A keep away here between those two. Knudsen once more. And there's the ball outside of the 6 and behind the back line. Looking to connect with Nora Bell. First year transfer from Arizona State. 6 minutes to go here in the first half.
Defense better on the front side for Texas State, denying the passing lanes. They go to the backside. Kaylee Smith, the senior, there in the back pocket. Seeing the defensive assignments, better attention being paid to by Texas State.
Coming up at the half, we'll talk a little bit more about the Pac-12, the weekly award winners in the conference. We'll also touch upon the Pac-12 preseason poll and take a look at the United Soccer Coaches' most recent top 10. A lot of the ACC is there. And of course, Bobby Shuttleworth can tell you all about how good the soccer is in the ACC, having come from Florida State, the reigning national champion program out of Tallahassee. First half highlights and stats all coming up at the break here on the Pac-12's official YouTube channel. We are nearing 20 combined fouls here in the first half. Well, Buchanan got this night, started off with a bang. Scored 40 seconds in. Handled the free kick there for the Aggies. She's got it back now. Works it to Knudsen. It's it back from Hong. Knudsen. Good pass. Churchill. And right there for the save is Draper.
Norshie was there giving good defense. You could tell Churchill felt like that was the best she could do. Didn't have time to put anything behind it. Relatively easy save there by Caitlin Draper.
All towards midfield. Crooks across the midfield stripe. Aggies once again the attacking third. Oh, Montgomery couldn't track down that deflection from Satsui. Keeps possession here for the Aggies, but now Satsui with a takeaway. Here comes Texas State. It's Eldair looking for Ritter.
Big question here was whether or not that was going to be a quick throw, keeping Texas A&M on their heels. Texas State here electing to get some type of set piece in the attacking third on a better connection from a defensive pick, connecting up front.
Final 3 minutes. Still have yet to see a corner tonight. Not going to see one here.
Thought that might have gotten a deflection, but the referee was quick to call that out of touch for a goal kick. Well, I got a sense here, Brant, that you got 3 minutes left. Both teams have been spirited, nobody backing down, that if you could steal a couple of shots here, a look or two, maybe even a goal, you could seize momentum going into the half. I get no sense that either one of these teams is going to be content just playing keep away in the last 3 minutes.
Sierra Jade Mitchell checking in for Texas A&M. Sophomore from Vancouver. Sinai Stewart. Last touch there for Texas State. Back to August with 2 minutes to go. Pressure here from Texas State. Now to force things back to August. Oh, and August keeping possession a little bit too long. Ritter almost a theft.
What poise from the freshman goalkeeper in that scenario. My goodness.
Poise, yes, but it's very risky. Final 80 seconds. Or 70, I can do math. Here's Mesa. Mesa with a cross. Backside of the 18. Last hit by Sinai Stewart. Well, what a half for Victoria Mesa.
I think the game opened up for her when they moved her back. They started Victoria Mesa up front in that attacking position. Very quickly identify she's a threat up top. You put 2 defenders in her pocket, bracket it over the top, and there's just nowhere for her to go. You couldn't connect passes over the top. You couldn't find her feet. But now you drop her back into this midfield position, maybe move her off a little bit to the right side. Now the ball just in the flow of the game finds her, and she's able to have more of an effect on the pace of play, and that's always a good thing for Texas State when she's involved in that way.
Final 10 seconds. Smith.
7, 6, 5, 4.
Back to midfield.
2.
And that will do it for the first 45. A&M scoring before you can grab your seat. But Texas State, the equalizer courtesy of their top shelf star, Victoria Mesa. The equalizer coming at 22 minutes in. And at the break, this matchup between the SEC and Pac-12 was at a 1-1 deadlock. Halftime coverage coming up. You're watching Wednesday night college soccer. on the official YouTube home of the Pac-12 Conference. What a first half here at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Very competitive first 45 minutes, and we are tied 1-1 between the Aggies and the Bobcats in what is Texas A&M's first ever visit to the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Let's talk more about the Pac-12 Conference and the weekly award winners. The Offensive Player of the Week honors going to Amelia Severn of Gonzaga. 4 goals for her in a Bulldogs win, the most goals scored by a Bulldogs striker in nearly 30 years. Hadn't been done since 1998. Kaylee Carlin of San Diego State Defensive Player of the Week honors the Aztecs keeper, 4 saves and a shutout win over UC San Diego. And at Boise State's Campbell Wilson winning Newcomer of the Week honors 3 goals, a couple of assists as Boise State picked up 2 wins opening week last week. So we're still a ways away from the start of conference play, but looking ahead to the Pac-12 and the team's predicted finish this season. Utah State picked to win the Pac-12 this year, followed by these Bobcats, the reigning Sun Belt Tournament champions. Boise State picked 3rd, San Diego State 4th. Washington State, of course, longtime Pac-12 member, picked to finish 5th. A tie for 6th between the Rams and Bulldogs at Fort Collins and Spokane, respectively. And then the other Bulldogs, Fresno State picked 8th, and Oregon State's one of the Pac-12 holdovers picked to finish in 9th. So from a look at the Pac-12 to the United Soccer Coaches Top 10, and we talked about it earlier, a big ACC representation. In fact, the top 3 teams all out of the ACC, Stanford, Duke, and reigning national champion Florida State. Then the only SEC team, the Aggies, of course, know Vanderbilt very well. Right now they're 4th in the poll, followed by the first Big Ten team, Michigan State. We referenced Baylor a few times. The Aggies have played the Bears. The Bobcats will play them next. They're coming in 6th. Then more ACC between the Tar Heels and Irish, BYU out of the Big 12, and Washington out of the Big 10. Right now sitting in the top 10. Coming up next, We'll talk more about the first half, highlights and stats after this. You're watching the Pac-12 After Dark here in St. Marcus. It's the Aggies and the Bobcats. And welcome back to the Bobcat Soccer Complex. 1-1, our score between Texas State and Texas A&M. Brant Freeman alongside Ben Campos. Ben, looking back at some of the highlights from the first half, it all started almost as soon as we sat down with A&M striking early.
How about that shot? Trinity Buchanan gets it on the right. A screamer to the left of Caitlin Draper, and then, well, he starts settling in, gets a little physical, plays in the back there, dangerous kick towards the head. These two teams start to feel each other out. Ireland Churchill has been a menace up top for Texas A&M. There's a chance there. And then another look here, Leah Diaz just a hair offside. They take that one off after a lengthy review. And then Texas State responding on a set piece, getting Jenny Gonkim to Victoria Mesa. Two absolute classy goals there in the first half. Texas A&M looking for more, probably one of the best chances from Churchill there in the first half. Good save by Caitlin Draper, keeping us here at 1-1 in a half moon over San Marcos. We take a look at these first half stats.
Shots advantage A&M, 8-3 for the Bobcats. Of the 3, 2 of them courtesy of Mesa, including both shots on goal. The Aggies had 3 between the pipes. Neither team a corner kick in the first 45. Talked about how physical the first half was. Evidence right there by that final number. Fouls combined 18 between these two. Very similar to what we saw in this matchup a year ago in College Station. Coming up, we have the start of the second half here on the Pac-12's official YouTube channel on this Wednesday night from San Marcos. Aggies Bobcats at a 1-1 deadlock. We are back after this from San Marcos. And welcome back to Pac-12 Country here in San Marcos, Texas. We'll look at the leadership of Texas State. To the left, that is University President Kelly Damphousse, and to his left, our right, is Athletic Director Don Coryell. The time in their leadership positions nearly parallel with one another, and of course, Ben, without their leadership, this university, this athletic program, not in the Pac-12.
Of course, it's just weird to say Pac-12 country, Pac-12 after dark. It's 8:30, but you're right. This is the changing landscape of college sports, and Texas State is right there in the thick of a lot of this change. And, you know, you get onto campus today, first day of class, you had move-in not too long ago. It's a nice vibe here in San Marcos, and you kind of had this feeling maybe in the 90s and early 2000s, had the feel of that commuter school, and now it's just one of the fastest growing in the state of Texas. The momentum in the athletics, of course, all the Sun Belt championships in the final year, and all the anticipation going into the Pac-12. A fun time to be on campus right now, and a lot of that good vibe comes from this leadership.
So getting ready for the start of the second half. We are in a 1-1 deadlock, Texas A&M and Texas State. Frank Freeman alongside Ben Campos. When the match started, it was a pretty hot 98 degrees outside. We've cooled off to 93.
Oh, refreshing.
Right.
93. I'll tell you what, one of the best secrets about this is you get the shade early here at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. It's just, you know, the way the sun sets and the architecture, and so you get a little bit of that relief early on. But of course, you follow soccer and how on the college level the season starts early August. You know the heat's going to be part of the story, and then of course you get into late October in different parts in the country, and then everything starts to change there around tournament time. But it all starts here in the heat and then the humidity of Central Texas.
You think about, the Pac-12 and all the West Coast teams and the teams in the mountainous areas like Colorado State and Boise State, that when they make their trips to Texas, especially for this sport, soccer, outdoor sport, this time of year, how will they adjust to the Texas heat? And likewise, when Texas State travels, somewhat cooler climates, but that's a welcome change for them. But the biggest change would be the time zone difference.
Time zone and altitude there. And that's the difference between being in the mountain ranges and in the Rockies and then the Texas Hill Country, you start the Balcones escarpment, starting the Hill Country here right on the campus of Texas State. But that doesn't compare to Mile High, getting into Colorado and parts of Utah. And you take your advantage, but know that the coin's going to flip on the other side. And that's the one thing on these outdoor sports, the temperature will change, but whether it's basketball or baseball, it doesn't really matter. Indoors, outdoors, in those settings, the altitude does play a factor, especially if you're just there for a one-off game.
All right, let's talk about the second 45 here, Ben. Keys for both teams. Both looking for a win, want to avoid that draw if possible. How does that happen?
Well, I think there's got to be better communication for Texas A&M up front between Bella Caparazza and Ireland Churchill. Those are the two main threats. They've been disconnected a little bit. I like to see them play a little bit more joined together in the attacking third for Texas A&M. For Texas State, you notice things got better when they moved Victoria Mesa back into the midfield, into the center of the field. And what that allowed them to do, while you're looking for the energy and you're looking for all of that speed from players like Ajiman and Helen Alamenu, you put your two calmest players there in the middle of the field in Mitsuri Satsui and Victoria Mesa, and then all of a sudden everything started to calm down around Texas State in general, and they started to find opportunities. So we'll look for more of that here in the second half from both teams.
Here's Alamenu for Texas State. Leaves after Ajimang. And knocked away by Buchanan. There's Boko Zarmi getting to work. Something that all those member schools of the Pac-12 will learn quickly. Some of the traditions here at Texas State, including the Texas State chants. Well, high up into the air, dangerous if you're the Aggies, and cleared away by A&M. Back towards midfield, Dupree trying to keep it in play. Lets it go. That was last touched by A&M.
Well, clearly with the pace there in that first half, nobody on the pitch here just settling for knocking the ball around, getting the field, just getting a light run in. Let's work on some stuff. You get a sense that this game matters. Pride between the conferences, pride between these programs in the state of Texas. Played to a draw in College Station last year. You would think you go head to head, one of those teams is going to want to win.
Here comes Buchanan and the Aggies as Diaz. Centering pass, shots high and wide. Near those international flags, El Salvador, France, Ghana, Japan, U.S., and Spain. All the countries represented on the Texas State roster.
A couple of opportunities for the Bobcats going into this direction to the white, into that win where you're taking shots from distance, having the ball hang up in the air, trying to trick the keeper a little bit. Kind of interesting to me their first 2 minutes, Texas A&M taking a page out of that book, and Diaz letting it rip from about 40 yards away.
Aggies advantage in shots now 9-4. Hong with the pass taken away by Alarminu. Stepped right into the passing lane. Alarminu on the receiving end of a yellow card, if you recall, back in the first half. Here's Diaz for A&M. Senior from Richardson. Earned the team's Perseverance Award a year ago. Secondary transfer from Tulsa. Now it's Churchill against Lila Dupree. Boy, Dupree not giving her room to breathe. Churchill having to work hard to sustain possession. Falls down and the foul called. Buchanan has received 3 of those calls deep in the attacking third in this match.
And putting Churchill on that side where there's no linesman, you're able to draw attention from the referee who could be a ways away. A little bit of a touch foul. I think there was heavier stuff there earlier in that sequence. Maybe it all just added up and the referee said enough. But here's Texas A&M once again, quick start within the first 5 minutes, free kick in a very dangerous spot.
There's Finley Locker, scored the Aggies' lone goal against Baylor this past weekend, handles the free kick. It's about an extended corner here. Six Aggie players in the box, backside of the 6, in the air. Churchill doesn't get a chance, nor she. Knocks it up into the air, still in the 18. Buchanan can't get a look. Taken away by Alarminu, and the clear out.
Better defending on the set piece from Texas State. Not a lot of free roaming Aggies there. Unable to get a clean look on goal. Couldn't find a clean head. And in the end, it's Alarminu with the big clear out. And everybody defensively just gets to breathe a little bit.
Buchanan. Now back of the A&M back line. The Aggies winless on the road a year ago. 0-4-3. Already one road win this year in Houston against Rice. Looking for their second tonight. Landry, top of the 18 for Diaz. Churchill. Bobcats swarming her defensively. Hong against Sajamang. Satsui stepping in front. Back line of the Aggies cheating up. Nobody back on the other side of the field for A&M. Into the 18 it goes. Draper came out of her box. Sliding save made by Norshi. Still no corner tonight. Last touch by A&M. Or is it? Initial call. I thought they were awarding a goal kick. This might be a corner for Texas A&M.
No, I think it's going to be right. I think they're going to call that out on Diaz as Draper comes up and gives a quick hug to Norshi there. Referee pointing to the spot. Now, was that a foul? Perhaps. I think they're just going to call that a goal kick, and we're back to play.
Suey for Texas State. Up along the near side for Alaminu. Hits that hard off Hong. Bobcats quickly bring it back in. Alaminu streaking in to take it away. Call for the foul. She's had a frustrating night.
I understand the call there. Here she comes. She's trying to make up. And then just a little clip there of the ankle, enough to dispossess, but put Texas A&M in a spot where that was not an advantage. The referee has to call that, even though it was the slightest of touch there on the back ankle.
Free kick. It is Buchanan. Right-footed kick. It's outside of the 6. Oh, and Dupree looked like she knocked down Landry. Another Bobcat foul. Dupree does not disagree with that call. And A&M will get another deep free kick.
She needs to be careful there. This is the second foul in about 5 minutes for her. Coming in, no clear spike to the path to the ball. Extension of the forearm. Referee's going to call that every time. And again, another set piece opportunity, but Bobcats defense in these scenarios have been pretty good the last couple of chances.
11 minutes gone by into seconds. Our score is 1-1 at the half. Still there right now as the Aggies set up their set piece. Up into the air in front of the 6. And again, last touched by an Aggie.
I don't have these advanced stats metrics, but you mentioned it. Here we are. 10 minutes approaching here, second half. No corner kicks.
Nope.
Just so odd to see a game flow like that, but that's the case.
Alaminu got turned around, but Sutsui there on the backside of it. Leaves it for Ajimang. Ajimang against Amos Sexton. Second defender comes in. Ajimang with a cross. Backside of the 6 for Mesa. Couldn't get a clear shot.
My goodness, what a sequence for Texas State. Even got a glimpse of a smile from Victoria Mesa. She knew she was that close. And A&M now just trying to counter.
Wasted no time after the ball was dead. Here's Island Churchill. And nobody there. Now there's that loud, audible Texas State chant coming for the crowd here. Overcapacity on a Wednesday night at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Diaz, a shot, missiled and knocked down by Draper. That'll lead to the first corner of the night. And A&M will set things up.
You have got to have your wits about you in goal, and Diaz just takes a look. Rocket of a shot with that left foot, trying to go low into the near side. Draper was attending to that post, but here we have our first corner of the night, and it's going to be Finley Locker.
Aggies setting up their play, and they have 3 inside the 6. Bobcats, a lot of traffic there. 5 defenders. Front side of the 6. A&M off the corner. Reed takes the lead 2-1.
You cannot say enough about the impact Ireland Churchill has had. 3 Bobcats all around her, finds her way in, gets enough of the deflection on the near post. Defensively, I'm not so sure you could have done anything more than that. And the freshman finding her way through, I'm convinced this is one of the best young talents in college soccer.
Freshman out of Eastvale, California. How fitting is it that Ireland Churchill, who wears the number 55, scores at exactly 55:00 on the clock? 2-1 Aggies. Perfect corner execution by A&M. Diaz tripped down by Mesa, and Mesa given a yellow.
Well, you know, of all the fouls that we've seen and of all the players, this is one of the first that we've seen from Victoria Mesa. Yes, it's out of frustration, but right there on Diaz on the back heel. A little soft in my opinion for a yellow considering how well and clean that Victoria Mesa has played. But I think the referee's starting to send a message about the physicality in this game.
Second yellow for the Bobcats tonight. Landry for Diaz, caught flat-footed. Aggies maintain possession, but Tong with a touch. Back to the midfield stripe and to the back line. Hong on the backside of that pass. Defended by Alarminu. Last touch by Texas State. Churchill, big night tonight. High into the air and handled by Draper.
It might have been officially the first corner, but how many times in that first half did we see this is like a corner kick? Free kicks there near the baseline, close to the goal. And, you know, over time you give a good team chance after chance. They're going to come through. And it seemed here to start in the first 10 minutes of the first half. Texas A&M having 4 such free kicks there early on. It's only a matter of time before they start connecting and making Texas State pay for those mistakes. And so while you want to bring physicality, if you're the Bobcats, you got to weigh that against giving opportunities for set pieces in the attacking third. And Texas A&M did great just to make them pay for that. The other thing, Brant, you know, 3 minutes ago we were talking about the atmosphere here and all the cheering and the band playing, and right now trying to get more of that in with that.
What a pass onto the backside.
Yes.
Alarminu just out of position.
And now you kind of get the mojo back there with that threat, kind of keep things going. Wonderful look. Alarminu just couldn't find the end of it.
Bobcats have only managed 4 shots tonight. A&M up to 13. 13 minutes gone by in the second. Norshie pushes down an Aggie, and the Bobcats will get their 3rd yellow tonight. Churchill knocked down by the second-year transfer from Florida State. And the physicality continues. That's now 3 Bobcats called for yellow cards. This one on Nina Norshie.
Right, and it's on Churchill, who's drawn so much attention. She takes a shot there trying to test that upper 90 on Caitlin Draper, but you know the referee's going to take into account who's being fouled too, and of course all that attention on the young Churchill striker. Something low like that at the ankles, not really playing the ball. Referee's already given out the warnings. I think, you know, message definitely has been sent by this referee, and now it's up to the players to respond to that.
And we talked about last year's match and just how physical things got between these two, combined 5 yellows and a red. Both of those charged to Texas State. They were called for 3 of the 5 yellows and for the red card. Here's Guzman, got turned around. Bobcats had a chance of maybe setting something up with the attacking third as Sutsui brings it back in. And now back to the Aggie back line. They can breathe some as we approach the 60-minute mark of the second.
And close to about half an hour left. If you're Texas State, You got to think about any type of adjustments here to be made given how the next 10 minutes play out. But you're still in this thing, 2-1. Of course, Texas State has been down in this game already, found a way to equalize off of a set piece. But you can't do that if the momentum is being stalled with ticky-tack fouls that are starting to pile up and turning into yellow cards.
Off the throw-in, here's Mesa. Mesa's got Guzman. Guzman looking to connect with Ajimang. Got shielded there by Sexton. Texas State still without a corner tonight, and this is a team that thrives on its corner plays.
Set pieces in general, but you're right about that. There hasn't been a lot of connecting up into that attacking third. You think about the goal, a set piece from midfield that found Mesa streaking. Mesa's had a couple of great runs where they found her over the top, but you talk about balls on the ground, picking apart the last line of defense, and we're really not seeing that. You're not seeing a lot of challenges inside the box where you're trying to get something on frame and you get the deflection. And right now, that's the style of play that Texas State wants to play. It's just being denied by the defense of the Aggies.
Grant Freeman alongside Ben Campos. Glad to have you with us on this Wednesday night from San Marcos. Non-conference matchup, SEC and the Pac-12. Our next telecast a week from tomorrow. And Texas State hosts East Texas A&M out of the Southland Conference, formerly known as A&M Commerce. Of course, they have a match against Baylor on the road between now and then. Baylor team out to another good start. They beat these Aggies this past weekend, ranked 6th in the country. Churchill trying to shield off Dupree. Now turns right. Into the box. Locker. Wasn't sure if Draper got a hand on it. Thought she may have.
I thought she did as well. She seemed unsure of it on the near post. Maybe that was a deflection off the post. Looked like the ball's trajectory changed a little bit. Referee will have it as a goal kick.
Aggies bringing in their first set of second half subs here at the 62-minute mark. 17 minutes here in the second. In the Sun Belt Conference, we were accustomed to a clock ticking down towards 0. But now in the Pac-12, it ticks up, but it doesn't reset in the second half. So we will go to 9-0-0-0.
And it will stop there. No carryover time.
No extra time.
You know, at least when the clock was going down, you understood some type of when it gets to 0, the game's over. You know, with used to watching that in things like basketball and everything. But
you referenced the World Cup earlier, and it seemed like extra time would drag on for quite a bit.
Oh, right.
You're kind of anticipating how much longer are they going to let this go?
Not uncommon to see double digits there in the extra time. Of course, here on the college level, that's not a thing, and the clock just stops, and that's the game. Well, a couple of adjustments here, but I don't know about you. I really enjoyed the World Cup, and now our country and Mexico and Canada kind of shared the hosting responsibilities.
World Cup in North America. United States making the round of 16 this year. Mexico, a great run, and of course, Texas State played its Texas State-Mexico counterpart in a friendly right before the start of the regular season. Second straight year they've done that. A trip to Querétaro, where that satellite campus is located. Boy, Ajimang putting the pressure on August, has to clear it.
We said it earlier in the first half, the poise of the freshman goalkeeper with the ball at her feet. Made a couple of close plays there, but now the pressure of Ajimang getting to her a little bit. Just glad to get that away, but a throw here deep in the attacking third.
17, Constance Ajimang.
Sydney Ritter's just checked in. I think she just checked in for Ajamang. And she did. Throwing from Smith, gets it back from Ritter. Great defense there from A&M. Emma Hong shielding off Smith, who tries to throw in once more. Nearly taken away by Montgomery. Big gamble there, though. A&M coming back the other way. Diaz, who had a goal taken away earlier on an offside call, up along the near side, defended by Smith. Pass towards the top of the 18. Churchill, ball pinballs around, cleared out by Gotkin. Up ahead to Ritter. And can the Bobcats develop something going the other way? Oh, and Alarminu got pushed from behind, and that'll be the first yellow against Texas A&M.
It's Juliet Harris on the far side. Of course, with the speed of Alarminu and nobody out in front. Look at that green space. You're denying a creative opportunity there on a professional foul. But here we go with Texas State again. The inability to connect from midfield up top. This one denied by a penalty. But where did Texas State score last time in a situation just like this in the first half?
It's Gotkin again, has handled all the free kicks. Left-footed kick off the head of Ritter. Not much developing there for the Bobcats on that set piece. So, no, they're going to say they would touch the Aggie. Not off of Ritter, and now the Bobcats get their first corner tonight.
Thought it was a clean flick off of Ritter. Must have gotten the deflection, as said by the referee here. Matsuri Satsui. I think she'll defer this to Jenny Gotkin for the corner.
Satsui handled the corners a majority of last year, but Gotkin has been so good tonight. Gonna give her the chance here. Does have a player available short in Satsui. Outside of the 6 it goes, and nothing doing for Texas State. Now we saw Satsui position there short. And what would your thoughts have been of Texas State playing it to Satsui and letting her run it in?
Well, she's so creative with the ball at her feet. She's calm. She knows what to do with it. I always kind of like those set pieces that go short because it gives you a little bit better of an angle to set things up. Not a bad idea. I'm sure something like that is in the works. Of course, you don't want to show all your hands at once here pre-conference.
All into the parking lots. It is not a souvenir. You have to give those back.
I'm going through this here, Brand. I believe for all the hype there of Ireland Churchill, the freshman, I believe that was her first goal.
It was.
And in her career as a Texas Aggie, came into this game leading the team in shots. And so it's nice to know as you're getting those attempts as a young player in your third game, finally getting that success, seeing the ball go through the net and getting that. And wow, we've really been impressed with the pressure she's put on the Texas State defense in this game.
The Aggies have now had 5 goal scorers this year. Trinity Buchanan, Finley Locker, and Ireland Churchill, beg your pardon, 4 of the 5 goals they've scored. And Augustin cleared that very well. Makes a Bobcat bounce back to the way. Hong has to work it back in the back line. Dangers here for the Aggies. You got to get the ball out of harm's way.
And I think that's going to be the catalyst going forward here in the last 20 minutes for Steve Holman and this Texas State team to start pressing. That's the second straight play by the feet of the goalkeeper, McKenna August, where she seems a little rattled. Ratchet up the pressure on the young keeper.
Coming up on 70 minutes to go, or at the 70-minute mark, not 70 to go, 20 to go in this one. Hong. Knudsen able to work that back to Buchanan. Takes it herself across midfield. At Churchill. Nice footwork and a shot laser to the right of the goal. As Ben talked about, hadn't scored the first 2 matches, but very aggressive offensively. 6 shots taken to the first 2. Got her first pass to keeper tonight. More subs here. Annabelle Fisher in for Texas State. In for Alarmino.
Random bit of trivia here, Brant, but the last name Churchill, her high school, Roosevelt. A little World War II connection
Okay, there you go.
How about that out of Eastvale, California? I don't know if you caught that one, but
I did not. Bobcats amping up the pressure again. Trying to create possessions here. Boy, Mesa playing really tough there around midfield. The Bobcats are going to throw in on their half.
it's enough pressure to cause that mistake. One thing to keep in mind here, going down the stretch, Texas State has not gone deep into their bench. There's a lot of tired legs out there, and you could only expect that to get worse within the next 20 minutes or so. It's hot and humid. If you keep playing this type of pace and pressing, that could wear on some legs.
Here's Satsui. Finds Kaylee Smith. Smith widening the field. And a nice defensive play made by Locker.
That's so tough to do. Finley Locker, the temptation there is to give physical, maybe give up a free kick. She plays it very well defensively, gets the slide tackle, and more importantly, avoiding
number 6,
corner.
Brooke Martinez.
Brooke Martinez in for Texas
Matsuri
State.
Satsui.
And for Satsui.
Also at number 19, Maria Sanchez.
Maria Sanchez,
Number 3,
one of
Alexis
the players
Montgomery.
from Barcelona, in for Texas State as well. Mar Garcia, the other. Here's the deep throw in from Ritter. Bounces through the 6. Mesa trying to keep it in play, in possession. Godkim is the back line, cheats in to the top of the 18. Mesa looking for a shot, deflected by a teammate. Cleared out by Hawk.
Don't see Victoria Mesa press too often there. You can tell she had that sense of urgency, couldn't get the ball settled where she wanted. And ultimately, that attempt, not something she was hoping would be a little bit better.
Stop the foul against Texas A&M. It's now 24 fouls called tonight. 4 yellow cards. Some of the numbers that tell a story of this one. Here we go, Texas State setting up a free kick inside of midfield. It was on a play like this, they scored the lone goal in the first half. Godcom left-footed laser right into the chest of August.
It's a confident save there by the freshman. You got pressure coming around. That, as you mentioned, had some pace on it into the chest. You never know about that spin. Of course, the risk of that coming hard off the chest, and now you've created a rebound opportunity for a young freshman in that spot. I think she did well. But here we go, a ball at her feet. Texas State bringing pressure.
Looking for a takeaway. Bobcats get it. Fisher. Now it's Mesa. Approaching the 15-minute mark of the second. A&M getting the go-ahead goal from Ireland Churchill at the 55-minute mark.
You had Mesa leading the attack there. She elects to try to play something to the corner. Again, it's a very safe play, but at some point, I'd be okay with her just letting it rip, just taking a look at goal and putting something on frame. Again, you got a freshman goalkeeper back there. Hadn't had to work too hard, although the pressure seemed to have Was rattled her a bit maybe about 10 minutes ago. She seems to have settled in since then.
Here comes Texas State. Ritter. Ball kind of hanging around midfield. Foul against Texas State. 14th tonight. This one called against Brooke Martinez.
Martinez transfer from Texas, so and knowing the SEC real well, and a familiar opponent. This little grab around the waist.
Again, this is a very successful Aggies program. 528 wins all time. 14th most in the history of Division I soccer, the most ever by a program for the state of Texas, and the most ever by any active SEC team.
For number 9, Finley
They've
Locker.
been the standard bearer for women's soccer in the state of Texas over the past couple of decades. Go back to that game last year in College Station. Texas State had the 1-goal advantage until late, about 8 minutes left in that game before the equalizer came from Trinity Buchanan. So here we go, under about 15 minutes left now. So if you think this 2-1 lead feels like it could be insurmountable, I think you might have another one coming the way that this is going to play out down the stretch.
Churchill knocked down, and the foul against Fisher.
I think Fisher's just saying she pulled me down too. Yeah, the feet got tangled up, but see Churchill go down there. Little come down with me there. Able to get the call from the referee. This is the 6th such free kick is what it feels like for Texas A&M here.
Yeah, this spot of the field. They scored the go-ahead on a corner kick in the second half. This is essentially another corner. Six attackers in the 18. Working off of the backside, it's Crooks. Here's the cross, backside of the 6. A lot of traffic there. No shot on goal, and this is going the other way.
I think Texas State wanted to go quick. There, the ball just got away. So they'll have to settle for a deep restart. A lot of heavy legs out there, Brand. Again, hot and humid. Not too many substitutions for Texas State. A lot of their core still in.
Here's Guzman now for the Bobcats. Has Smith to her left. Foul against the Aggies as Smith is down. This will be called against Storr. And Smith yet to get up. Their knees may have collided.
Goodness. Always dangerous when you're full weight bearing on that one leg and you get that collision. Good to see her pop up and kind of shake that one off. It's the foul.
I think this might be one of the deeper free kicks, if not the deepest Texas State has had tonight. Under 13 minutes to go. Big play here for Gonkum, Texas State. Here it is towards the backside of the 6. Oh, and the redirect not there. Looking for Alvarez or for Sanchez. Just a little bit offline.
Going to the back post, you get the flick into the middle of the field. This is exactly what you're looking for. But they couldn't hook up.
Was last touched by an Aggie. Corner kick for Texas State. Their second of the game.
All hands on deck for Texas A&M. Look at all those white shirts amongst the 18.
Line drive into the 18. There's a shot.
Goodness!
Jenny Goncalves,
Are you kidding me?
the equalizer, and we are tied 2-2.
My goodness, the goals today have been world class. Jenny Goncalves, the volley. Wow.
What a night for Goncalves. The assist on the Mesa goal in the first half to the back of the net herself in the second.
Wow, side netting. There's not a keeper in the country, maybe the world, that's going to say that one. That is top notch. And isn't she pleased? Why not?
I'll leave it once again. Level at 2. Goncalves, their career goal as a Bobcat first this year. Now it is a takedown in the 18, and there's the call against St. Anne.
Sure enough.
A yellow and the 18,
Wow.
and a PK coming up for Texas State.
Just a misstep right there. I don't know. They might take a look at this one. Was it enough to bring her down? It's a clear, straight line to the goal. Did the contact happen outside of the box and then carry into the box? That's got to be a consideration. I think the yellow card will stand either way. Jenny Goncalves will take a strut up, and they are going to review this. Now, as it stands, Brand, again, going back, my question here is, where was the contact initiated? Was it enough to get Ritter off of a balance? But did that happen outside the box? That's the big question here. Now, either way, I think the yellow card's going to stand. That's a clear violation on a straightaway to goal.
Play under review. Yellow card against Ava Sexton, who could not handle that pass back of the back line. It looked like she took her eye off the ball for just a second, and it gave Ritter a window. And we've seen Texas State's defense pressure the back line as the second half has moved along. And that one mistake costly for the Aggies.
Well, we mentioned it a couple of times in the past 20 minutes, the back line and the goalkeeper. Little shaky there, passing it around. And maybe you're right there, just took the eye off the ball. Wasn't necessarily a difficult pass to handle. But it creates an opportunity for Ritter to get a one-on-one. The contact comes. The all-important question of where did that take place? Because if this stands, and keep in mind the call on the field is a penalty in the box. If this stands, Texas State in a prime position with about 11 minutes left to take the lead. But there's a contact there, and I think it's initiated outside the box and it carries in. I don't see much of contact happen in the box, so I won't be surprised if this just becomes a free kick outside the 18 where the contact's initiated.
That's a huge call, as Ben was just describing. If it's ruled that the contact initiated outside of the 18, it's not a PK for Texas State. It's a very deep free kick, but it's not a one-on-one for Goncalves and the keeper, August. If the call stands, Goncalves will have her shot. The players have taken the field. Ball has not been placed yet.
There's Mesa trying to clear away. A little bit of gamesmanship here.
Boy, Mesa getting into a bit of a shoving match here. Goncalves comes in as well. Oh, and the jarring continues. This is Patterson and Mesa.
Of course, the referee's not around.
Oh, now Kelly Smith comes in for Texas State. Trying to keep Riley Cooks off her spot. Well, now the official comes in. He's telling everybody to clear it out.
You know, if it is a PK, defenders cannot be in, just the shooter. So there's no right of way for the defender there on that spot. That's what the referee is indicating. This side judge.
You can read the lips. I'm going to tell you this once. You can't be there. Looked like Gonkin was going to take the shot initially. Now it appears to be Mesa.
This would be.
So the call stands.
See the words being exchanged. Victoria Mesa, the senior, out to the freshman McKenna August.
A veteran Mesa, a player for the national team out of El Salvador, the reigning most outstanding player of last year's Sun Belt Conference tournament, player to watch in the Pac-12, arguably the most talented player on this very deep Texas State team, will go one-on-one with the freshman keeper McKenna August for the lead with under 12 minutes to go. Crew still sorting things out here.
As a former goalkeeper, I think this benefits the goalkeeper in this spot.
So here's the contact. And you see Ritter start to stumble inside of the 18. I didn't see Sexton grabbing or tripping inside the 18.
To be fair, I didn't see any contact at all once both players got into the 18.
So although we saw players set up for a PK, you can see it right here. The officials have not made their determination yet.
Still looking things over with all available technology. I believe there's no real time constraints on this, but you want to get this right in this scenario. Either way, the yellow card should stand. And the question is this going to come right outside the 18, or is this going to come from straight away at the penalty mark? Of course, this is what was going on earlier. Team meeting at the PK spot. Almost like musical chairs, huh? There's not enough spots for everybody. Here's a call. I don't think that he's pointing to the penalty spot. With the explanation from Steve Holman, and it'll be a free kick from outside the box. So wave the penalty off.
Yeah, wow. Although it takes away a tremendous scoring chance for the Bobcats, they still have a really good one here.
As they enter the box, you see no contact whatsoever. Contact initiated outside, and I think that's a proper call. Now, still dangerous spot here for Texas State. Jenny Gonkum has been outstanding in service of Texas State in these free kicks. Also got the equalizer by way of the scoreboard a couple of seconds ago, though that was probably in real life about 10 minutes ago.
It was 18 seconds of game time ago, but you're right, that was, what, 8-9 minutes ago?
And so, you know, it's hard to say who this break and play gives the advantage to. I mean, coming up on a PK, I'd say surely this is advantage for the goalkeeper. You're going up to kick that PK, and all you got is time to think about it. From at this spot, seems to have disrupted the flow of the game. Texas State was clearly in the advantage in terms of momentum. Now you get a little bit of a hydration break.
And marking the spot now for the free kick.
Talk over your defensive strategies once again with the sideline, and so perhaps Texas A&M able to regain some composure here defensively. But here we go.
Godcom and Martinez. It's going to be Godcom. Godcom right to the goal.
Wow.
Knocked down by August and off the crossbar.
What a gutsy strike around the wall, bending down. August has to be sure of it, strong enough to punch this away, nearly puts it into the upper 90 herself. And Jenny Godcom inches away from a brace of her own.
And now a corner for Texas State. It's Godcom again. She scored off Texas State's last corner. Now the one mailing it in. Godcom. And into a lot of traffic. I think that was last touch by the Aggies, so we will do this exercise again, but now from the other side of the field.
Godcom has been known to bend those in from those corner kick spots there on the right side of the field.
Substitution for your Bobcats. Entering the game, number 10, Helen Alomenu.
So Texas State going to bring Helen Alomenu back in.
Also entering number 14.
And Matsuri Satsui is in.
For number 6, Brooke Martinez.
So Coach Allman perhaps smelling blood of the water here, bringing in some of his top offensive players off the bench as they set up another corner. None of the first half. This is their fourth of the second. Satsui and Alomenu, the players at the ball. Satsui. And there's the header. Nowhere on target. Goal kick for the Aggies, and now they can take a breath.
And Mesa again on the back post, able to get free, at least something on it. Look at her, no Aggie around her. How is that possible? Just unable to put that on frame. Now, something to note, Brand, about 10 minutes of game time ago is when Steve Holman made those substitutions. You had Alomenu come out, Satsui come out, two of your big playmakers. Extended break with that review, just more time for them to get their legs under as we go down the stretch with about 11 minutes left.
So A&M dodging some bullets as the game stays tied 2-2, 10 minutes to go. Along the far side it comes. Bobcats will throw in near midfield.
A very similar feel to the game last year in College Station. The road team getting out ahead, the home team scoring late to equalize. Texas State late in that game also had a couple of opportunities last year to steal the win after that late goal. So, of course, 10 minutes left, a lot still to be determined here at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Leon says the referee there.
Here we go along the far side, more contact. Alomenu involved with Diaz. She's played a very physical game, has Alomenu.
He has a yellow card, so need to be careful here going down the stretch.
A red would mean a suspension for the next game as well. Churchill back in for the Aggies. Locker. Hong trying to find Diaz. Shielded well by Norshi. Good defense of the 18 by Texas State.
And good communication with Draper, the keeper. You got to let the keeper know that you're going to let that slide on back.
Locker trying to keep it in play. Goal kick for the Bobcats. 8 minutes left. And what has been a very entertaining night here at the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Texas A&M's first ever visit to San Marcos. These two have played 5 times before, all in College Station. Played to a 1-1 draw there last year, level at 2-2 here.
This holds another positive decision for Texas State against the SEC. They're getting 2 last year.
The draws against the Aggies in Oklahoma. Played well against the SEC, struggled against the Big 12, losses to Arizona State and Baylor. Here's Diaz. Oh, this is going to be a tough ball with Churchill in pursuit. Hallie Garcia had to get back defensively. And now the Aggies get a corner with 7.5 left.
That's such a great ball. It confuses the defender. You see the twisting run there, and it finds the foot of the most dangerous Aggie in the freshman, Ireland Churchill. Calmly wins the corner.
Aggies second corner. Off the backside. No shot there for A&M.
Draper coming off the line. You got to be sure about that. Put a hand up, a fist up, just missed. And that was a wide open opportunity on the backside. That was not meant to be, so a sigh of relief there from Caitlin Draper. Again, you see 2-2. Every goal has been spectacular. The type of stuff that's needed to beat these two keepers tonight.
First goal for the Aggies came 40 seconds in as Hongler plays the pass from Churchill. Bobcats got the equalizer. 21:50 mark of the first half for Mesa. A&M retook the lead on a Churchill goal. First of her career at the 55-minute mark. Third, 6 minutes left. Ritter from Smith, bracketed by several Aggie defenders and taken away by Locker. Here's Churchill against Godcom. These two have had a huge impact tonight. Nobody on the backside of that pass as Garcia takes it for Texas State. That goes off an Aggie.
That was such a defensive effort there by Jenny Godcom. The temptation to dive in on Churchill. You know that's a threat, and all she does is play the angle, waits for Churchill to take her down the line, and then beats her to the spot, forces across to nobody in particular. That's just good, solid defense.
Aggies applying some offensive pressure here. Ball hanging around. They're attacking third. Garcia, a big collision. Garcia looking for the foul against Landry. She last touched the Garcia did, but the foul is called, therefore no corner.
Right, again, no play on the ball, just going straight into the body. Of course, that would have been robbery if you don't give that foul and you give a corner in that situation down the stretch. But sure enough, it's a good call there by the referee. 5 minutes to go in this game.
Right-footed kick from Draper. Churchill. Locker back of the talented freshman from California. They keep away from Guzman. Widens the field to Hong. One near great look there for A&M as the Bobcats clear it.
There's Mesa.
Got Victoria Mesa. Mesa. Sexton, great defense there for the Aggies.
4 minutes, a lot of heavy legs here, Brent. Going back and forth, you're seeing the extension of the defense. You don't want to make that bad decision defensively.
Churchill.
You know, deep in this game, you get fatigued. That's when the mental mistakes happen, the lapse defensively. But you're starting to see the game start to go back and forth. No team wanting to settle for this draw. You're seeing the defensive stretched. The long ball winning over the top. And the midfield just exhausted.
3.5 to go. Here's Setsui for Texas State. Off the free kick. Oh, ball missed by an Aggie defender. Ritter in pursuit for Texas State, keeping it alive in the attacking third. Ritter able to work it back. High pass, looking for Mesa. Mesa! Texas State on top for the first time tonight as McKenna August couldn't secure it. Mesa brace, and it's 3-2.
That's the mental mistake that we were referencing. The high ball there hung up in the wind. August could not make a clean break on it, and the pressure that Texas State has been putting on the young goalkeeper throughout the night finally pays dividend. I mean, this is a tough ball, high in the night, hanging in. She catches it last second and cannot secure it. Victoria Mesa cleaning up the garbage in front of the goal. Texas State now on top.
Victoria Mesa, the senior from El Salvador. Perhaps the game winner with 3 minutes left. Texas State 3 minutes and 1 second away from its first ever win over Texas A&M.
You know, you hear this expression from coaches, the idea of chopping down a tree. You know, you never get it done the first time or the second time, but over time you keep chopping and you keep chopping, and that tree's going to fall down. And when it does fall down, it's not because of that last strike. It's because of everything that you put into that leading up to it. And it's all that pressure, the press from Texas State over the last 20 minutes. They take advantage of a mistake and a mental error. And if they could hold on here over the next 2 minutes, Texas State could have a win over an SEC opponent.
First Power 5 opponent of the year for Texas State. Huge opportunity here. 3 minutes and 1 second left on the clock. Can they hold on? What a night for Victoria Mesa. Look at her. The equalizer back in the first half. Go ahead here in the seconds. McKenna August has been challenged so many times by Texas State, and the freshman keeper just couldn't get her forks into the ball. And Mesa, ever opportunistic, did not miss the advantage. Goal stands upon review. 3-2 lead for the Bobcats. 86-59 mark on the match for Victoria Mesa.
Wonder what the review was. Of course, you're wondering, is it offsides in that spot? But the ball hangs up so long, plenty of time for Mesa to get in there. I don't think that should have had any type of review, but again, chances for the players to rest perhaps, and good correction for you. I said 2 minutes, you're right, just now under 3 minutes to go in this game.
Look for a lot of pressure here from A&M. Going to have to bring the back line up. Bobcats going to have to survive the final 2.5. They'll need more of those.
Going to the corner.
Texas State still applying some pressure to the back line. It forces A&M to use more time to bring the ball across midfield. Here it comes. Dangerous ball. The keeper, Draper, comes out and smothers it in front of Diaz.
little bit of keeper play here. Taking as much time as you can before clearing it up.
Locker back to the back line. Aggies running short on time. Guzman clears it again. 90 seconds to go. Not a good throw in there. Allows Guzman to eat off more time from the clock.
And a giveaway possession here deep in the attacking third. You could just anticipate Texas State taking their time here. Tick, 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 now approaching a minute. This ball should go into the corner, go to the flag.
1 minute remaining.
Ritter
1 minute.
taken down by Locker. And the Bobcats can all but ice it now.
And this is a time-killing measure. If you're Texas A&M, just standing over the ball, you need to go back for the 10 yards, and this is just wasting valuable time, as Texas State should just hit this one into the corner and try to kill these 30 seconds.
That's exactly what they're doing here. Free kick for the Aggies. They're trying to hurry. Under 20 seconds to go. Alermenu. Now 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
And for the first time in program history, the Texas State Bobcats have defeated the Texas A&M Aggies. A night to remember in San Marcos as the Bobcats prevail 3-2 over Texas A&M.
Look at the field here, Brant, the celebration. There are some classes on campus that haven't even started yet, and you get the feel that this is a huge game between these two programs in the state of Texas. Drew last year in College Station, and Texas State defending the Bobcat Soccer Complex 3-2 with a late goal to snatch a victory against the Aggies.
Boy, what a night for so many Bobcat players. Jenny Godkin really stands out, assisted on the Mesa goal in the first half on Texas State's corner kick. I'm not sure I've seen a better shot off a direct corner pass for the equalizer in the second half. And then Victoria Mesa taking advantage of the misplay by McKenna August, could not secure the ball in her hands. Mesa scores off the rebound. She records a brace. Godkin a goal and an assist, leading the way to a monumental 3-2 win.
I'm not so sure that the first 4 goals in this game were some of the best we're going to see all year, but we talked about the heat, the fatigue, the tired legs. There was going to be a mental lapse late, and it just so happens to come to the detriment of Texas A&M, and Victoria Mesa taking advantage of that, and she gets the game winner.
Banging the drum tonight here in San Marcos, and well-deserved as Texas State knocks off Texas A&M out of the SEC. And that's going to wrap up our coverage tonight. So for Ben Campos, I'm Brant Freeman saying so long from San Marcos. The final score, Texas State 3, Texas A&M 2. All matches airing on the Pac-12 network are streaming live and archived on the official home of the Pac-12 Conference YouTube channel. This has been a presentation of the Pac-12 from the Bobcat Soccer Complex. Good night.